Hello everyone and welcome back to the GameStar Season 2 qualifiers for the ANZ Heroes of the Storm. And for this game we have a real cracker right now. This is going to be Nomia versus the Lleyton Hewitt fan club. Both these teams have been pretty much undefeated, or almost undefeated, throughout all of the GameStar qualifiers so far. Nomia, if you're unaware of the ANZ scene up until this point, Nomia have been dominating the scene all year, and some of the players, even going back an entire year, have just been so strong in ANZ and are continuing to show dominant form to this very day. Lleyton Hewitt Fan Club, they have a lot of strong players who have been around the scene for quite some time, have come together and have really put on strong performances already in the weeks that we have so far. And this is a round 3 match of the day, week 2, and it's going to be on Brax's holdout to see how things shape up. One thing to note is that Xayah is going to be globally banned due to a game-breaking bug, but Probius is available thanks to him being out for well over 2 weeks now, although I don't think we'll be seeing too much Probius, although I can hope. So the Falstad is going to be first ban. It's not the most common of first bans when you come to a map like Braxis. Globals aren't necessarily the most sought after commodity when it comes to this map, wanting to more go towards things like wave clear, like the Gul'dan, or even the Xayah, but that one is banned as well. So I have to see if Nomia do end up banning that Gul'dan away. We saw Nomia play over the weekend in the ANZ Heroes Monthly Cup, and when they came to this map, they were very insistent on taking away a lot of that wave clear, wanting to get that they banned away that Gul'dan first off. So I have to see if that is going to be another tool that they take away from the Lleyton Hewitt fan club. Have to see where they go with it. There are a lot of options still available. The Ragnaros would still be up. It's actually going to be the Chromie that's taken out. Not wanting to allow that long-range sniper to be a real thorn in their side. So getting rid of that, but it is going to be the Gul'dan pick up right away. Picking up that really strong wave clear that is very, very prominent on this map. Wanting to set up a very strong 4-1 push, or a very strong 4-stack to really take control of the map that way, but that does still leave quite a bit open on the side of Nomia. There's things like the Ragnaros. We've seen Ben have a lot of strong performances on the Arthas, but it is going to be the Valor. There's also the TASSADAR, and that is going to be taken up. They really love this combination. John on the Valor can get a lot of work done, and with his teammates back, has been very, very strong in the past, but that is going to allow the Arthas to go over to the Lleyton Hewitt fan club. Just one tool that they can try and mitigate the Valor with, thanks to that armor that he now has. And if the Valor does get caught out, they can very much get locked down thanks to the Arthas, who does so much work right now. Probably one of the highest priority warriors in the game right now. Just gets so much work done. I have to see what they pair this up with. It is actually going to be the Morales on the side of the Lleyton Hewitt fan club. This is probably one of the few maps where Morales' priority does jump up a fair bit. She does allow that 4-stack to be very safe and actually play quite aggressively, knowing that they have a very consistent source of healing at their back. And the Gul'dan can be very happy just life tapping consistently, just to be able to pump out a lot of those spells and keep that wave clear going. So already a very strong setup coming out from the Lleyton Hewitt fan club. It will be interesting to see what they round it out with. They'll probably want at least another tank and maybe an auto attacker, maybe something like the Greymane to round that out, to give a little bit more variety in the style of damage that they're putting forward. But I have to see if any of those options get taken away by Nomia, as they will be having the next 2 picks. But right now we're into the second phase of bans. To see what they go with. As mentioned, there's still quite a few things available, and they are just going to let that ban actually go over to the JOHANNA, not wanting to allow that very extremely beefy, armor-heavy lineup coming in from Lleyton Hewitt fan club, just saying no to that. But I have to see what the Lleyton Hewitt fan club do take away from their side, because there's still quite a lot to work with. Well, quite a lot of flexibility to go through the rest of this draft. For Nomia, they will more than likely want another support, which could very well be either the Malfurion or even something like the Lucio, or even the Rhaegar, like all supports are still very open and very useful alongside the TASSADAR. We'll have to see how they round out their composition. The Anubarak was banned away, not wanting to, inversely, not wanting to let Nomia stack up a very magic armor heavy lineup. That does leave quite, well, there's only, say, the Tyrael that has a considerable amount of spell resistance. It is going to be the Malfurion picked up, so that lineup of 3 is already extremely strong. And now that the ETC, that's probably going to be their 4-stack already set in stone for Nomia. Very strong, beefy frontline with the ETC, can withstand a bit of a punishment, and with the double support and the amount of sustain that they have in that lineup, they can play quite aggressively. And we'll have to see if the Lleyton Hewitt fan club, well, it's going to be a long one to read all throughout this game, but I have to see if how they're going to react to this draft already from Nomia. From what we've been seeing, the Arthas might be going into the solo lane because he has a decent amount of sustain, he has some wave clear, and he does brawl quite well in the 1v1. But it's actually going to be the Reyna coming out for the Hewitt fan club, and also the Diablo. So they do have a very DPS heavy lineup. I mean, the amount of damage, consistent damage coming out of a Gul'dan and a Reyna cannot be underestimated. In the Diablo, it's going to be very hard for Nomia to actually push through that. They're probably going to need to try and get around onto the Morales and try and apply pressure onto her, because if she's allowed to play safe, the rest of the members of this lineup should be very free to just go forward and be very annoying to the side of Nomia and really apply pressure to this Valor who wants to play very aggressive. It's actually going to be the LEORIC over to Nomia as the last pick. Again, has very decent wave clear, can duel alright against other tanks with his life drain, and he can be quite useful in just disrupting fights and being a bit of a pest to some of these more beefy targets. But very interesting drafts. I mean, always happy to see the TASSADAR Valor combination coming out from Nomia. They play it very well, and especially on this map, they are very good on this map, Braxis Holdout. So very excited for this map, as these are two of the best teams in the region. Nomia undoubtedly the best, but Lleyton Hewitt fan club is really up there and really trying to make a name for themselves in the region, and have been doing quite well so far. So I have to see if they're able to use this composition to really apply the pressure to Nomia and really tighten the screws on them, as we are going to be getting into game very soon. Yes. Alrighty, where are we? Alrighty, on the blue side we have Nomia, we have Fat94 on the Malfurion, that's an interesting one, Arcana on the LEORIC, Robodoba on the ETC, Vanilla on the TASSADAR, and John, as always, on the Valor. And on the red side, we have the Lleyton Hewitt fan club. We have Godzilla on the Diablo, Physics on Gul'dan, Zeth on Arthas, Jaddy on the Lieutenant Morales, and we have Against Time on the Reyna. Alright, as we are getting ready to start this game, nothing too out of the ordinary when it comes to talents, but we do have a very early rotation to the top side for Lleyton Hewitt fan club. This is something that we've seen a little bit coming out of teams, because what we've been seeing a lot is that it's pretty much expected that we have the ones going to the top lane and then the 2 4-stacks coming to the bottom lane. Sometimes we do see a bit of a mix-up to that, just to try and catch a team off guard and maybe at least take down one of the towers to get a bit of an early experience lead. But we do have the 4-stack coming down to the bottom side of the map, and it's just going to be a lot of aggressive training forward because, as mentioned, this Morales can keep a target topped up quite nicely, and with this double support coming out of Nomia, they can be very well sustained in these team fights, as we see John going very far forward as a lovely power slide comes in, lockdown 2, but they are going to be able to stay alive for just a little bit. The Rue comes down onto the Reyna, the Adrenaline Rush is going to keep them alive as they are going to be able to get out of that, but a lot of damage going down onto them. Physics is going quite low and having to use his own life to keep his mana backed and topped up, but it is going to be topped up thanks to the Morales, but She's going to start running out of mana quite quickly. They're going to be able to keep this aggressive play up as John goes vaulting forward to try and get very aggressive onto this Reyna. They're trying to get a nice sneaky play. Robodoba is in behind them, waiting for another power slide. He is at their back. Robodoba does get hit with a Q from the Reyners to knock him back. They don't really get too much done as Fat is taking a bit of damage. We don't really see him very often on this Malfurion. We usually see him in the top lane in the solo being obnoxious on something like the Arthas, or even in the DPS role on something like the Zeratul. But we are seeing him on the Malfurion. It's going to be interesting to see how he plays this one, as the beacons are going to be activated, and right now it's been a bit of an even trade so far, as we do have Zeth on the Arthas managing to get first control of the top side beacon, and we do have against time coming up on the Reyna, but this is just going to allow Nomia to just play very aggressive, push forward, as they realize that there's not enough members coming out from the Lleyton Hewitt fan club to really contest that push, as John is going to be standing very far forward, trying to force back the members of Lleyton Hewitt fan club, but they do get here in time. They do hold on to the point as the power slide goes in onto against time. He is taken very low. The healing from the Morales is coming out as John is flipped over and slammed into a wall, but he's able to stay safe thanks to the double support. Robodoba is onto the point, and they do hold on to the beacon for just a little bit longer. Godzilla is almost, he does manage to hold on to it, but he's going to flip over to Nomia. Power slide does land onto Physics. The lockdown from the roots coming down onto the Gul'dan, who's very low, and so is the Reyna, and this Morales is having to be very cautious and having to be right on top of the game, and just switching between healing the two priority targets as they're going to go aggressive onto Godzilla, and he's in a bit of a bad position. The healing is not able to get there. There's no more mana onto the Morales, and that is going to be the Diablo falling down. It looks like the Reyna is going to be able to get the Adrenaline Rush just in time, and they're going to go in onto Physics, who does get locked down by the ETC. They are going to take him down, and with the Arthas not in position to contest the top point, this is going to be a 100-0 Zerg Rush going over to the side of Nomia. And now that they've got this, the Zerg's coming, they see that the Zerg on the top side is going to go for Nomia, and they are going to start rotating all four members up with the LEORIC going to the bottom side of the map, and now they're going to start working towards this Arthas, who is now very far forward. He's going to get locked down just a little bit. He is going to get cut off, and there's a lot of damage coming through. There's not enough support coming in from the rest of the team, and that's going to be another kill going over to Nomia. And with this massive Zerg rush, they're going to be able to apply a lot of pressure. There's really not much that Lleyton Hewitt fan club can actually do just now. They do have the wave clear coming in from the Gul'dan, but the Reyna is not able to get too much done in that regard, and it's just allowing the members of Nomia to play so far forward. And well, they do get the root down onto the Reyna, but he does get healed up by the Morales, so they're able to stay safe. But they are going to be losing a lot of their structures as that falls, and this is already a 2-level lead in favor of Nomia. Already only 4.5 minutes into this game. They're trying to come in, but the power slide manages to get him out of there, and this is going to force the members of Nomia back. They're a little bit low, as we see on the bottom side of the map. Very heavy trading back and forward, but in the end, Arcana is still able to play very aggressive, forcing back this Diablo. The LEORIC does have the sustain in these fights, especially with the life drain, and he is allowed to play quite aggressive against something like the Diablo, who doesn't necessarily have the best sustain against something like the LEORIC. This is just allowing a bit of time for Nomia to pick up some of their camps, and only now the members of Lleyton Hewitt Flame Club are starting to work towards the neutral side of the map and get something working for them, because they are over about a level behind. They are a talent tier behind. They should be getting their level 7 really soon, but there's still a bit of work to catch up on. They do have a decent amount of wave clear, as mentioned, with the Gul'dan. He's already got his Pursuit of Flame stacked up, as we do have Robodoba getting aggressive onto Zeth, who is very far forward, trying to just force away the members of Nomia, and they are going to, he's going to get punished for it, but Daddy does manage to get there in the nick of time to help out the Arthas. It's going to be trading back and forward in the end. Oh, here comes Arcana from the side. Here comes a big swing to slow him down. They're trying to take down their tanks, as Godzilla's taken very low, as Robodoba does go towards the bottom side of the fight, as against time is the next target. Both damage dealers are going to get onto the ETC, who does fall, but they do take down the Reyna. The rest of the members of Nomia are coming in, as Arcana is going to be distracting the 3 members of Lleyton Hewitt Fan Club on the top side of this fight. They do want to try and get something to happen, but they do end up backing away. It was in the end just a 1-for-1. Robodoba getting a bit too aggressive against the 2 damage dealers of Lleyton Hewitt fan club, but still, the advantages are still going in favor of Nomia, as they have the waves pushing into the base of Lleyton Hewitt fan club, and with the beacons coming up, they should be able to get into position to at least hold one of them. As we see on the top side of the map, the LEORIC is going to be the next target. He is going to be able to get out of there with the Wraith Walk though. And as Rapidover does manage to get back in time for this beacon to come up, it is still allowing John on this Valor to play very aggressively. Not too worried about getting hip tossed by this Diablo and slammed to the wall, especially with the double support and also the peeling from this ETC, as LEORIC did manage to hold on to that top beacon, and now it looks like the members of Lleyton Hewitt fan club are trying to take care of this LEORIC, but he's just being such a nuisance. They are going to start working towards the point, as the Robodoba is starting to move up as well. The beacon will go over to Lleyton Hewitt fan club, but here comes the rest of the members of Nomia. They do lock down the Morales. The Twilight Dream was used, but it's just the support and the tank trying to work on this other support of Lleyton Hewitt fan club. The beacons are trying to get taken by Lleyton Hewitt fan club, but it seems like they're tunneling a little bit on it, as Zeth is very far forward and out of position and will get taken down. The Gul'dan fell earlier in a skirmish that we didn't see on the bottom side of the map, and this should be the beacons going over to Nomia yet again, and it should be another 100-0 beacon phase for Nomia. They'll have the 100% Zerg rush, and they're already in position to start pushing on this one side of the map, and they have level 11, whereas Lleyton Hewitt fan club are not even level 10 yet. They don't have the heroics and have to be extremely careful as physics get caught out by the Entomb. He's in a very bad position. The healing is not there. In comes the stage dive to land onto the Reyna, who does fall as well, and that's both of the damage dealers down. And now we have this Morales in a bit of an awkward position, does manage to get behind the walls. It almost got body blocked by Rapidover on the ETC, but it's still, the damage has been done. Both damage dealers are down on the side of Lleyton Hewitt fan club, and with this 100% Zerg rush, and with all the members of Nomia pushing through, it's very likely that this whole lane of structures is going to be taken down. There's not really much that they can do. They're trying to get the wave clear in. They do get very aggressive onto the others, who does fall, gets locked down. The lockdown is then moved over to the Diablo. The healing from the Morales is helping out, as John goes very far forward and doesn't have the shield on him. It gets taken down, so a very big kill there for Lleyton Hewitt fan club, and this could very well force the members of Nomia back. They do end up taking down that keep, so they still got what they came here for, but it's not a fight that they would have wanted to lose. Losing that Valen, that's a lot of their damage down. A bit of an overstep there from John, not having the shield on him, and maybe it wasn't up in time on the TASSADAR. A bit of an overstep, but still they have their advantages. Level 10 is now reached by Lleyton Hewitt fan club, so they can maybe get something to happen. They do have some good ultimates to work with. They have the Horrify, they have the Apocalypse. Army of the Dead will be able to keep this Arthas alive. They actually are going with the Stim Drone. Yes, the Stim Drone to keep this Reyna really pumping out damage could really do a lot of work, but it's going to be very hard to actually get things done, as there is already a fight, as the Zeth is going very far forward, trying to get in onto the Valor, but he's just going to be able to get sustained by the double supports, as the two tanks are already amongst the teams of Lleyton Hewitt fan club, but they're going very low. Arcana is going to be the first one to drop. It does fall to the damage coming out from the Gul'dan and the Reyna. The Stim Drone does go down. It does force back the members of Nomia, as they are a little bit split up. They are doing a decent amount of damage in return, but with the healing coming out from this Morales, they are going to have to be forced back. They're still quite healthy, and with Vanilla quite low, does manage to get some healing now from this Morales, or not from the Morales, from the Malfurion, and now they're going to start getting aggressive onto this Arthas. They are 5 now, thanks to the LEORIC managing to get a lot of his death time reduced, as here comes Robodoba comes sliding in, but the Horrifier does move all of the members away from Nomia, and it looks like they will be able to take down the ETC, but it's not able to get him just yet. The healing and the shields coming out just in time against time is going to be the next target. He's going very low. They're trying to take someone out, but there's so many low members, as the members are just starting to drop on the side of Lleyton Hewitt fan club. The 3 are down, and the Gul'dan is down, the Morales is down, and now all of them are down. There's only the Diablo coming back thanks to his souls, and in the end it is going to be a clean fight going over to Nomia, and for a lot of that fight it was still 5 on 5, but in the end, just once it got to the low targets, the double support comes in huge. The amount of healing, the amount of shields, just the amount of general sustain is just hard to push through when you have just a double warrior composition. Maybe if, well, they do have a decent amount of damage coming out of their warriors, but it's still just not enough to push through the amount of durability and sustain that the Nomia's lineup has. And now with this boss coming in on the top side of the map, they are going to be holding onto both shrines and starting that beacon phase very strongly. And with Lleyton Hewitt Fan Club having to deal with this boss, this is just allowing all the time and pressure to go over to Nomia. They're going to start getting some of these cans for free, and they're going to be able to time this perfectly with this Zerg Rush. And it's going to be very hard for the members of Lleyton Hewitt Fan Club to get back, as Zeth is going to be the next target as he goes very far forward trying to make a play. The members of Lleyton Hewitt Fan Club are not going to be able to get there in time, as the Entomb is going to be locking down members. Physics is the one with the Stim Drone, as he's not the one who's going to be dealing auto attack damage. Here comes the stage dive. They're not able to take anyone just yet. The power slide comes in, locks down 2 of the damage dealers. They are going to take down the Reyna, who was a little bit too far forward in the end. And again, this is just another fight going over to Nomia, and the amount of sustain and durability coming out from this lineup is just incredibly hard for this composition from the Lleyton Hewitt Fan Club to push through. And now here comes the massive Zerg wave, and they do have their wave clear from the Gul'dan, but they're just needing to fight because Nomia is just pushing very aggressively. John is still very far forward, applying a lot of pressure and forcing the members of Lleyton Hewitt Fan Club to take notice as the Morales does fall. That's all of their sustain down. Physics is going to be the next target as Vanilla is going to start taking him down. Doesn't have any sustain for the Gul'dan to help out, and that is going to be another clean wipe, and that is going to be the game going over to Nomia. Well done, but Lleyton Hewitt Fan Club, they got some fights going, but in the end it is just Nomia being way too good and just really applying so much pressure around the map, and wow, what a game.